What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Observant Lineman. Today, as I sit here, just kind of wanted to give a different kind of video today. Rather than go through the regular NFL headlines or the interesting articles about things that professional athletes in the NFL say, I thought I'd want to bring a video to you guys, just going into something a little bit more personable for my audience. I really appreciate you guys. As you guys know, recently went over 4,000 subscribers. Really proud of that. And that's really in large part thanks to all of you. And for me, I think that it would behoove me as a content creator to bring a little bit more of a closer perspective, a little bit inside the helmet, if you will, in regards to my career as an athlete, and just kind of give you a little bit of a better understanding as to why I have the perspectives that I do. Now, this story is going to be an interesting and entertaining story, I'm sure, because it details my very first encounter with the man, the myth, the legend, Ray Lewis. For anybody who's been living under a rock for the last 20 years, this guy is considered one of the greatest middle linebackers to ever play the game. Ferocious hitter.
That's the way I play.
Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! High intensity.
Let's be who we are today. Let's be the Ravens, though. Let's play fast, physical, and pistol.
This story is important for a few reasons, I think. In the timeline of my career as a football player, you get to play against these guys who you watched yourself on TV and idolized them as legends. And that's just something that is normal in American culture today. For me, I had the great honor and the great opportunity to play against guys that I've truly looked at as people who were larger than life when I was young. One of them being Derrick Brooks, linebacker, also a Hall of Famer, a guy who's considered one of the greatest at his position, the linebacker from Tampa Bay. Ray Lewis, obviously, guys like Junior Seau, Brett Favre. These were guys that I idolized. I mean, even more recent icons such as guys like Drew Brees, who actually went to my alma mater, Purdue University as well. So to be in the league with those kind of players at a time, even as a young guy in my second year at this point, it seemed like a dream. I'll be honest. It seemed like something that you would never think would happen in your wildest dreams. But here it is. It's a reality. But like the old saying goes, reality is much more harsh than the daydreams that we put out there in our minds. So we're going to start this story off with a couple of key facts that you need to know about the situation surrounding this encounter with Ray Lewis. And this is on the football field, of course. So it's my second year in the NFL. My first year as a starter, and it is the last game of the season. So needless to say, for a team that is right now 5-10 in Jacksonville, I am quite anxious to get this season over and done with so that I can start to rest, relax, allow my body to heal. When you have to go through a 17-week football season, 21 weeks if you add the preseason, the body is in pretty bad shape at this point. Joints are hanging on by a string. Aches are part of the everyday norm. As soon as I wake up in the morning, when you put your feet on the ground, your feet hurt, your back hurts, fingers hurt. Everything just feels raw and irritated all the time. Once you get past that, 10th, 11th week of football during the season, things just start to hurt for no reason. So this is our last game of the season, and we have no hopes of making the playoffs. We've been eliminated from contention for a few weeks now. And we're now in a situation where we have to go in and play a Sunday night game against a Baltimore Ravens team that must win to get into the playoffs. These guys have a sold out stadium. These guys have a completely focused team going up against a team that is literally counting the minutes, counting the seconds until the end of the game so that we can get the hell out of Dodge, get the heck back to Jacksonville, and start our offseason at the end of December or beginning of January. I can't remember exactly the date. From the outset, this game was brutal. This was a brutal game. It was cold, a little bit windy. Wasn't the worst, but it wasn't, it wasn't ideal for a Florida team. We kind of enjoy that warm 65, 70 degree winter weather. So, it's not, we're still wearing basketball shorts and flip flops going into work in the morning. This game was a mess. This game was an utter mess for us. Pretty much the entire team was checked out. We were like, let's get this over with. Let's get the hell out of here. Playing for pride. Who cares? We don't even, we really did not care about whether or not we won or lost that game. And that's just how it is. If you're not playing for anything and it's the last week of the season, man, you wouldn't believe the kind of deals that can be made with an opposing player when it's two teams that have nothing to play for. But in this case, we had nothing to play for, and the Baltimore Ravens had everything to play for. Needless to say, their crowd was electric. It felt like a playoff game, even though it was not. But they were playing for their playoff lives. They had to win this game. Slight intimidation factor, just because, I'm a first-year starter. I'm a young player. Like, I don't really understand the game so much like a lot of the other veterans do. I'm still learning. I'm still finding my way. The talent's there. The athleticism's there. But, we're still growing. Still a young pup, if you will. We're in the middle of this game. And this was, to me, probably one of the biggest welcome to the NFL moments that I've ever had. We had a number of penalties. We were backed up at our 2-yard line, and we had a false start penalty on our left tackle and our tight end 4 plays in a row. We were on first. We were stuck on first and 10 at the foot-yard line for 4 plays before we got a ball or before we got a play off without getting called for a false start. That's how loud it was there. We couldn't hear anything. Quarterback was under center. We couldn't hear David Garrard say anything. And our left tackle, heck, he has Terrell Suggs over there. Of course, he's going to be jumping that snap count, trying to get himself in a good position before Suggs can get into his rush. We get off the line of scrimmage there, and this is about probably halfway through the third quarter. And we make it to around midfield. Actually, it was a pretty good drive. Right around midfield, we stall out, and it's 4th and 1. Little precursor to this play. In the team meeting the night before, our running back coach, Ken Pola, he told us that we were going to run God's play if it was a short yardage situation. What is God's play, you may ask? God's play is 36 power. Now, we have had success with that play in Jacksonville for as long as I can remember. It's mainly because it is a purely physical, dominating play. It boils down to the fact that you get a lot of push on the line, and you have good running backs who understand where to take the ball. You never bounce a power play outside. A power play cuts the defense directly in their gut, right up the A gap. And if it goes, and the only cut that you can make is to the backside once you hit the A gap. So it's a directly vertical run. That's what we call those kinds of runs. Vertical runs, they're straight up and down. There is no option to cut back. If you cut back, you're probably going to get destroyed. With all that being said, I am at left guard in my second year. I'm starting a left guard, and it's 4th and 1, and Jack Del Rio does the old signal, stay out there. He says, stay out there. 4th and 1, we're going for it. Immediately, Dave comes jogging into the huddle. Dave looks directly at me in my eyes and gives me this little grin like, all right, Uche. Needless to say, I am terrified because I know what that little grin in that eye means. And in slow motion, I break the huddle and turn and walk towards the line of scrimmage. When I get in my stance, I look up, and who is right in front of me, 2 to 3 yards off the ball, staring me dead through my soul? And he is looking at me with some kind of malicious intent that I just, to this day, still cannot really grasp. Ray Lewis looks at me in my eyes and he points at me and he yells out, 77 is pulling. To which in my head, I say, son of a bitch. He yells out some kind of audible and the entire defense slides to our right. The entire defense slides to our right. Ray Lewis stays in his position and starts to slowly inch over as the cadence continues to go. Now, as we're going through the cadence, and you know, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, well, shit, they know what play we're running. Can we change the play? And the cadence, it's like it was yesterday. In slow motion, in my mind, the cadence is going. Dave is calling the cadence. Nobody cares that he just called out the play. Nobody cares that they're putting my life in direct danger at this point, because he knows that I'm about to pull to the other side of the line, and it's going to be a collision of monumental proportions. It is going to be a violent reckoning. He knows what's coming. His entire defense knows what's coming, and they're bringing the wood, all of them, because they have to win to get in. Dave calls the cadence, and we snap the ball. Now, at this point in my mind, and this is all happening in a matter of milliseconds in my mind, I'm like, look, they only called this play to test your manhood. Those coaches did not call this play thinking for 1 second that these Ravens were not going to be ready to stop it. They called it to see how you, a young second-year player, are going to react with the adversity that has been placed in front of you. You must block the Mike linebacker on 36 power. You are assigned to Ray Lewis. How are you gonna handle that? So in my mind, I said, you know what? I'm just gonna go for broke. I'm gonna swing for the fucking fences. This is what I told myself to motivate myself. So that's what I did. I pulled with ferocity. I pull myself into the gap right off the double team, and I'm going full bore, pulling the hole. Ray Lewis right there. This Ray Lewis, he's running full bore downhill. And when we collide, I kid you not, this man took everything out of me.
Your soul is mine.
He broke me. I thought I was paralyzed the way that we collided, and when we hit, I felt an electric static shock all the way out to my fingertips, all the way down to my toes. I didn't think it was possible. I'd been knocked on my ass a few times in my career, sure. As a young player, for sure I have. This guy went through my chest, and I literally I think I closed my eyes. Not only did he run through me, he ran through Maurice Jones-Drew, forced a fumble from Maurice Jones-Drew, and Mojo does not fumble a lot. He ran through me, ran through Mojo, forced a fumble, and recovered it. That was my first encounter with the great Ray Lewis. I jogged to the sideline after that play with a migraine. I got on the plane after that game with a migraine. I went to sleep at the end of that night after we flew back to Jacksonville with a migraine. Maybe a concussion, I don't know. But it definitely was not great. Tell me what you guys think. Leave your comments down below. Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the Observant Lineman Uche Nwaneri. I appreciate all of you for checking out this video on my welcome to the NFL moment against Ray Lewis. I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.